Hey everyone! Before we dive into one of the most haunting and heart-wrenching true survival mysteries you will ever hear, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Trust me, you do not want to miss the deep dive content we are bringing you. Today's story is not about a simple hiking trip gone wrong. It is about 5 close friends who vanished without a trace in the rugged wilderness of Washington's North Cascades National Park. For 5 agonizing years, their families clung to fading hope, while endless searches turned up nothing. Then a wildlife photographer's drone captured a chilling image deep in an inaccessible valley, something that defied belief and cracked the case wide open. What they found would unravel a tale of a sudden disaster, a hidden prison, a desperate escape, and a secret that the mountains had kept buried for half a decade. This is the story of the Lost 5. On a cool September evening in 2016, rain pattered against the window of a Seattle apartment. Inside, a 26-year-old woman named Mia Harlow sat staring at her phone, her heart pounding. Her older brother Caleb, a 28-year-old software engineer with an almost obsessive love for the wild, had promised to check in by 6 o'clock sharp. He was the planner, the anchor of their friend group, a man who could navigate by stars, purify water from a stream, and spot wildlife tracks before anyone else. He had sent a photo that morning at 9:15 a.m., the 5 of them grinning at a trailhead under a canopy of towering firs. Caleb stood in the center, his curly brown hair peeking from under a beanie. To his left was his best friend Dylan Reyes, a lanky 27-year-old barista with a quick laugh. To his right was Marcus Lang, the group's jokester, a 29-year-old teacher built like a linebacker. Behind them were the 2 women, Sophia Kane, a 26-year-old graphic designer with a bright smile and a backpack stuffed with sketchbooks, and Riley Brooks, a 28-year-old nurse whose steady hands had patched up more than one scraped knee on past trips. They looked invincible, ready for a 20-mile loop through the park's remote backcountry. "Be back Sunday. Love you, sis," the text read. Mia had replied with a thumbs-up emoji, never imagining it would be their last exchange. But by 7:45 p.m., the phone remained silent. Mia's worry sharpened into fear. She called the North Cascades National Park Ranger Station. A dispatcher calmly noted that delays happened, but promised to send a patrol. At the park's Stehekin Ranger Station, the report reached Ranger Elena Vasquez, a seasoned veteran with 25 years of experience. Her face, lined from countless rescues, tightened as she read the details. The North Cascades were no joke. Jagged peaks, sudden storms, and valleys so deep they swallowed sound. Amateurs got lost all the time, but a group like this, it smelled of something sudden and severe. She pulled up the trail map, noting the route over passes, through dense forests, and along glacial streams. The next morning at dawn, the search began with urgent intensity. Helicopters buzzed overhead, their spotlights cutting through the morning fog, while ground teams, rangers, volunteers, and search dogs combed the trail. The group's blue Ford van was still at the trailhead, unlocked, with wallets and phones inside, as if they had planned to return soon. No signs of foul play, just an eerie normality. Days stretched into a week, the operation swelling with help from neighboring states. They grid-searched the area, shouting the 5 names into the wind: Caleb, Dylan, Marcus, Sophia, Riley. But the Cascades held their secrets tight. Dense underbrush hid ravines, and rivers could sweep away evidence in hours. No footprints, no dropped gear, nothing. The families gathered at a makeshift command post. Mia clutched Caleb's photo, her eyes red from sleepless nights. Dylan's parents flew in from California. Marcus's wife paced endlessly. Sophia's sister handed out flyers. Riley's fiancé stared at maps, willing a clue to appear. Theories swirled: a bear attack, a flash flood, or perhaps they had veered off trail chasing a viewpoint. But no blood, no tracks, no bodies. It was as if the earth had opened up and swallowed them whole. As the search hit the 2-week mark, a glimmer of hope surfaced. A hiker on a parallel trail reported hearing distant shouts the day the group vanished, possibly cries for help. That redirected teams to a steep side canyon, but after days of scrambling over rocks, they found only silence. The lead fizzled, hope dimming. The media picked up the story, dubbing them the Lost 5, splashing their smiling faces across screens. Online forums buzzed with wild speculation: alien abductions, cult involvement, or a deliberate vanishing to start new lives. For the families, it was torture. Mia quit her job as a marketing coordinator, pouring her savings into private searches. She hiked the trails herself, calling out until her voice cracked. 5 years passed like a slow bleed. The official search scaled back. The case was filed as cold. Anniversaries came and went, marked by quiet vigils. The world moved on, but not the loved ones. Mia kept Caleb's room untouched. Dylan's guitar gathered dust in his parents' home. Then, on a crisp afternoon in July 2021, everything changed. In a remote section of the park, far from any marked path, a wildlife photographer named Jordan Hale was flying his drone to capture footage of elk herds. The device soared over a narrow, mist-shrouded valley known as Devil's Gulch, a place so treacherous that rangers rarely ventured there. As Jordan reviewed the footage back at his cabin, his eyes widened. Deep in the gulch, nestled against a cliff base, was a flash of unnatural color. A tattered blue tent, half buried in overgrowth, and nearby what looked like a rusted vehicle bumper. But that wasn't all. The drone's zoom revealed faint outlines that chilled him, what appeared to be a small cabin, overgrown and hidden, with wisps of smoke rising. No, impossible. He rewound, heart pounding. It was real. Jordan rushed to the ranger station, footage in hand. Ranger Vasquez, now nearing retirement, watched the video, her breath catching. The spot matched no known structures, but the coordinates aligned with an old, forgotten mining claim from the 1800s. Could the group have stumbled into this hidden valley? The discovery reignited the case with electric force. A specialized team prepped for descent: ropes, gear, medics. As they rappelled into the gulch, the air grew thick, the walls closing in. At the bottom, they found the tent. Ripped, weathered, but bearing the group's logo from their photo. Inside, scattered belongings: a journal with Sophia's sketches, Dylan's Lucky Charm keychain, but no bodies. Nearby, the cabin from the drone footage was actually a collapsed mineshaft entrance. Boarded up, but recently disturbed. Dirt was fresh, as if pried open. The team pushed inside, flashlights piercing the dark. What they uncovered next would unravel the mystery in ways no one saw coming. The shaft led to a network of tunnels, damp and echoing. One path showed signs of habitation. Canned food wrappers dated to 2016, a makeshift bed of leaves and blankets, and scratched on the wall, faint but clear, the words, "Caleb, Dylan, Marcus, Sophia, Riley, help us." The group had survived the initial disaster, whatever it was, and holed up here. But how? And where were they now? Forensic teams swarmed, dusting for prints, sampling DNA. The breakthrough came from a small rusted locket found in the dirt, Riley's, with a photo of her fiancé inside. It confirmed that they had made it this far. But the real shock was a logbook page torn from Marcus's notebook. Entries scrolled in fading ink. Day 3. Avalanche blocked the pass. Fell into gulch. Injuries bad. No way out. An avalanche. In September, weather records were checked. A freak storm had hit, dumping snow on higher elevations. The group must have been caught in it, tumbling into the hidden valley, invisible from above. For years, searches had missed it because drones were not common then, and helicopters couldn't spot through the canopy. The logbook entries continued, but stopped abruptly after day 47. Voices outside. Miners? Help! The investigation pivoted. Local historians were called in. Devil's Gulch had a dark history, illegal gold panning in the 1800s, and rumors of modern squatters, off-grid types evading the law. Could someone have found the group? The team followed the tunnel branches, finding more clues. A blood-stained bandage with a blood type matching Sophia's rare AB negative from medical records. Then, deeper in, a sealed chamber with air vents. Someone had lived there long-term. Scratch dates went up to 2018. The group, or some of them, had survived for years. The drone spot had opened a Pandora's box. As news broke, families flooded back to the area, Mia leading the charge. "They're alive," she whispered, clutching the locket. But the truth was more twisted. Soil samples showed traces of human remains, but not 5 bodies. Only 3. Who survived and where did they go? The answer lay with those voices. a lead that would expose a hidden world beneath the Cascades. The discovery of the sealed chamber sent a jolt through the investigation. The air was thick with anticipation as Ranger Vasquez and her team pieced together the fragments. The 3 sets of remains, later identified through dental records as Caleb, Dylan, and Marcus, lay in shallow graves dug into the tunnel floor, their bones brittle from years underground. The sight was a gut punch, a silent testament to their struggle. But the absence of Sophia and Riley fueled a burning question. Where were the women? The logbook offered a haunting clue. After day 47, the writing shifted neater. In Sophia's hand, day 48, 2 men found us, took Sophia and Riley, said they'd get help. Caleb says no trust. The words stopped there, a desperate scribble trailing off. The men, miners or squatters, had entered the picture, and their intentions were unclear. Forensic analysis of the chamber revealed more. A makeshift barricade of rocks, suggesting the group had tried to defend themselves, and a small pile of ash from a fire dated to late 2016. They had held out, rationing food, until the strangers arrived. The remains showed signs of malnutrition and infection: Caleb's fractured ribs from the fall, Dylan's shattered ankle, Marcus's skull cracked, likely from a blow. They had not survived the encounter. But Sophia and Riley? The blood-stained bandage and their absence pointed to a different fate. Ranger Vasquez dug into park records, unearthing reports of illegal activity in Devil's Gulch. Poaching, squatting, even rumors of a meth lab run by off-grid outcasts. A name surfaced: Leon Carver, a 45-year-old drifter with a rap sheet for trespassing, last seen in the area in 2016. His partner, a reclusive woman named Tessa Home, was a ghost in the system, known only from a blurry photo at a roadblock. Could they have stumbled upon the group? The theory gained traction when a retired ranger recalled spotting a campfire in the gulch that fall, unreported due to its remoteness. The team launched a new search, this time targeting signs of human presence beyond the mine. Days later, a volunteer found a rusted trapline snare, bear poaching gear, near a creek bed. Its design matched Carver's known methods. The snare led to a crude lean-to, abandoned but recent, with cigarette butts stamped with a brand Carver favored. Inside, a tattered map marked a cave system north of the gulch. The team descended again, this time with cave experts. The cave was a labyrinth, its walls slick with moss, but a faint trail of disturbed earth guided them. Deep inside, they found it. A hidden alcove with signs of long-term habitation, a stack of canned goods, a sleeping bag, and a woman's hairbrush with blonde strands, Sophia's color. A journal, waterlogged but legible, bore Riley's handwriting: Day 90. They won't let us leave. Say it's safer here. Leon and Tessa watch us. Plan to run. The entries ended in 2018, the ink smeared with what tested as tears. The women had survived, but under duress. Soil samples confirmed 2 more sets of remains, 2 degraded for immediate ID, but DNA tests were rushed. Meanwhile, a hiker's tip led to a shallow grave outside the cave. 2 skeletons, 1 male, 1 female, both with bullet wounds. Ballistics traced the slugs to a .38 revolver registered to Carver in 2015. It seemed that Leon and Tessa had turned on each other, perhaps over the women or their spoils. But where were Sophia and Riley now? The journal hinted at an escape plan. A final entry read: Day 120. Found a way out. Heading east. Pray we make it. East led to a logging road 10 miles away, used sporadically in 2018. Investigators scoured old security footage from a nearby mill, spotting 2 figures, 1 tall, 1 shorter, limping past a camera on October 3, 2018. Their faces were obscured, but their gait suggested exhaustion. The timestamp matched the journal's last date. Hope surged. If they escaped, they could be alive, lost in the world. Mia pored over missing persons reports, cross-checking with Sophia's and Riley's descriptions. A lead emerged. A Jane Doe found wandering near Spokane in 2019, mute and disoriented, now in a care facility. DNA results were pending. Mia's heart raced. The Jane Doe lead ignited a flicker of hope that spread like wildfire through Mia and the families. The care facility in Spokane, a quiet place nestled amid rolling hills, held the key. Ranger Vasquez wasted no time coordinating with local authorities. The woman, now 29 but looking older from hardship, sat in a sterile room, her eyes vacant, her dark hair streaked with gray. She responded to nothing, no name, no questions. Her silence was a wall built from trauma. Mia arrived with a photo of the group, her hands trembling as she held it out. The woman's gaze flickered, lingering on Sophia's face, then Riley's, before dropping to her lap. It was a start. DNA samples were taken, rushed to a lab, and 2 days later, the results confirmed it. The Jane Doe was Sophia Kane. The news hit like a thunderclap. Sophia was alive, but her condition raised more questions than answers. Medical staff reported she had been found with frostbite scars and a broken wrist that had healed poorly, suggesting months of survival in the wild after her escape. Her muteness pointed to psychological trauma, possibly witnessing the deaths of Leon and Tessa or the loss of Riley. Mia sat by her bedside, whispering memories of childhood hikes, hoping to break through. Slowly, Sophia's eyes softened, and a single word escaped her lips: Riley. It was enough. The search for Riley intensified, now a race against time. Investigators retraced the logging road footage, analyzing every frame. A second figure, shorter and limping, had vanished into the trees east of the mill. Park rangers and volunteers fanned out, guided by Sophia's vague mumbles of river and cabin. The North Cascades' eastern edge held a network of abandoned homesteads, relics of early settlers, and a narrow river cut through the area, a likely escape route. On the 5th day, a ranger spotted a rusted canoe half-submerged near the Skagit River, its hull scratched with initials R.B. Riley Brooks. The find sent the team scrambling upstream, where they discovered a crumbling cabin, its roof caved in, but its interior dry. Inside, they found a stash of supplies: blankets, a hunting knife, and a diary. The handwriting was Riley's. The entries were a raw chronicle of survival. Day 125. Made it to the river. Sophia hurt bad. Left her at a road. Kept going. Alone now. The last entry, dated October 10, 2018, read, "Cold, lost. Help me." The cabin showed signs of recent use, footprints in the dust. A fire pit with ash still warm. Riley had pressed on, but where? A local trapper reported seeing a woman matching her description near a remote lake in 2019, disheveled and fleeing when approached. The lake, Crystal Basin, was a day's hike north, its shores dotted with caves. The team moved fast, arriving at dusk. A cave mouth, hidden by overhanging pines, yielded the breakthrough. A tattered backpack with Riley's nurse ID badge, and nearby, a shallow grave. The remains were fragile, but DNA confirmed it was Riley. She had survived the escape, only to succumb to exposure or injury. The diary revealed her final days, hiding from strangers, rationing food until her strength gave out. The families gathered at the site, tears mixing with relief and sorrow. Sophia, now under psychiatric care, began to speak more, piecing together the ordeal. After the avalanche, the group had fallen into Devil's Gulch, injured, but alive. Leon and Tessa, squatting in the mine, found them, offering help that turned to captivity. The couple forced the group to work, digging for gold, hauling supplies until Caleb, Dylan, and Marcus resisted, leading to a violent clash. Leon killed them, Tessa protested, and the women seized a chance to flee during a storm. Sophia's broken wrist came from the fall. Riley carried her to safety, then pressed on alone. The twist came with a ranger's hunch. A poacher's camp raided in 2020 held a .38 revolver matching the cave bullets Leon's gun, sold off after his death. Tessa, it seemed, had shot him in a power struggle, then died from a self-inflicted wound, leaving the women to escape. The case closed, but the emotional toll lingered. Mia visited Sophia weekly, rebuilding a bond fractured by years of silence. The closure brought a bittersweet peace. The North Cascades' rugged beauty became a haunting backdrop to a story of survival, betrayal, and loss. Sophia's recovery was slow, her voice returning in fragments as therapists worked to unravel the trauma locked in her mind. She recalled the mine's damp chill, the clink of pickaxes, and the night she and Riley plotted their escape during a thunderstorm that masked their footsteps. The storm had been their savior, washing away tracks, but it also separated them, Sophia collapsing near the logging road, Riley pushing toward the river. Mia turned her grief into action, founding a nonprofit called Echoes of the Lost to fund search technology and support families of missing hikers. She rallied Sophia, now stronger, to join her. Their bond deepened with each fundraiser. The nonprofit's first success came when a drone equipped with thermal imaging located a lost climber in 2022, saving his life, a tribute to Caleb, Dylan, Marcus, and Riley. The media frenzy faded, but the story lingered in local lore. Hikers whispered about Devil's Gulch, some claiming to hear faint cries on windy nights, though rangers dismissed it as imagination. Sophia began sketching again, her drawings of the gulch hauntingly detailed. The tunnels, the mineshaft, the canoe, each one a cathartic release. One sketch stood out, a figure in the distance, watching. She couldn't explain it, but it gnawed at her. Investigators revisited the cave, finding a footprint not matching the team's gear, smaller, newer. Could someone else have been there after Riley's death? The footprint led to a blind alley, but it reopened old wounds. Was it a poacher, a curious hiker, or something more sinister? The question hung unanswered, adding a layer of unease. Mia and Sophia hiked to Crystal Basin in 2023, scattering Riley's ashes by the lake in a quiet ceremony with wildflowers. Sophia spoke her first full sentence. "She saved me." It was a moment of healing, though the past never fully released its grip. The families held a memorial, unveiling a plaque near the Easy Pass trailhead. In memory of Caleb Harlow, Dylan Reyes, Marcus Lang, Sophia Kane, and Riley Brooks, lost, but found in spirit. Donations poured in for Echoes of the Lost, funding a permanent ranger outpost in the gulch to monitor the area. Ranger Vasquez retired that year, leaving the plaque as her legacy. Sophia moved in with Mia. Their apartment became a haven of shared silence and laughter. She started a blog, Surviving the Gulch, sharing her story to inspire others. Its readership grew with each post. The footprint mystery faded, but it kept the case alive in hushed conversations. One evening, a hiker reported a glint in the cave, possibly a locket or ring. The team planned a return, hope flickering anew. The glint sparked a restless curiosity that refused to die. Under a gray September sky in 2024, Mia, Sophia, and a small team hiked back to Crystal Basin. The air was crisp with the promise of autumn. Ranger Vasquez, now retired but unable to stay away, joined them, her weathered hands steady on her walking stick. The cave loomed ahead, its dark mouth a silent witness to the past. Inside, flashlights danced across the walls, illuminating the footprint and leading to a narrow crevice. There, half buried in dirt, lay the source of the glint. A silver locket, its chain tangled in roots. Sophia gasped, recognizing it instantly as Riley's, the one with her fiancé's photo. Opening it revealed the picture, faded but intact, a tear-streaked testament to their bond. But something else caught their eye. A scrap of paper inside, waterlogged and brittle, carefully unfolded. It bore Riley's handwriting. "If found, tell them I tried. East Ridge Cabin." The words were a lifeline, a final message from a woman who had fought to the end. The team knew the East Ridge, a steep, forested rise beyond the lake, dotted with old cabins from logging days. They pushed on, the terrain punishing, roots tripping their feet, but hope drove them. After hours, they reached a sagging cabin, its windows boarded, its roof caved on one side. Inside, the air was stale, but a faint scent of wood smoke lingered. A crude bed, a rusted stove, and a journal lay scattered. The journal, Riley's, picked up where the cave diary left off. Day 130. Found this place. Weak. Heard voices again. Hid here. Day 135. They're close. No strength left. The entry stopped, but a map sketched on the last page marked a spot half a mile east, a cave or shelter. The team followed, finding a shallow overhang with a pile of stones. Digging revealed a small cache, a water bottle, a knife, and a photo of the group, faces scratched out except Riley's. Nearby, more remains, hers, confirmed by DNA, lay curled as if asleep, her final resting place. She had hidden, evading pursuit until exhaustion claimed her. The voices that had haunted the team were likely those of the poacher or scavengers. A hiker's report from 2019 surfaced. A man with a limp carrying a rifle seen near the ridge. Could it have been a survivor of Leon and Tessa's network, scavenging the area? The locket and map suggested Riley feared recapture. Her scratches were a plea for safety. The discovery closed her chapter, but opened others. Mia and Sophia held a private ceremony, placing the locket with Riley's ashes, vowing to protect her memory. Echoes of the lost expanded, funding a memorial trail through the gulch, its signs warning of hidden dangers. Hikers donated stories of rescues. The nonprofit's impact grew. Sophia's blog hit 1 million views, her sketches of the cabin and cave inspiring a documentary pitch. The footprint mystery lingered, a whisper of unresolved danger. In 2025, a ranger found a spent .38 shell near the overhang, matching the cave bullets, suggesting that the pursuer had lingered. The case file grew, but no suspect emerged. Perhaps it was a ghost of the gulch, lost to time. Mia and Sophia thrived. Their bond was a testament to survival. Mia's nonprofit saved 12 lives in its first year, while Sophia's art gallery opening drew crowds, her paintings of the Cascades a mix of beauty and shadow. The plaque at Easy Pass gained fresh flowers weekly, becoming a pilgrimage site. One evening, a letter arrived, anonymous, postmarked Spokane. It contained a clipping of Riley's photo, unmarked, and the words, "She was brave. I saw. No signature. No clues." Was it a witness, a guilty party, or a kind stranger? The team debated, but the sender vanished. The North Cascades held its secrets, a wild heart beating with stories. Mia smiled, knowing that Riley's fight lived on. The story of the Lost Five became a legend, a warning, and a testament to the human spirit's refusal to be forgotten. If you made it to the end of this harrowing journey, you now understand why I asked you to like and subscribe. True stories like this remind us that the wilderness can be unforgiving, that hope can outlast years of silence, and that sometimes the truth is stranger and more heartbreaking than fiction. Share this video with someone who loves survival mysteries, and as always, stay safe out there. I will see you in the next one.